It took 16 years, but today a Latonia family finally got justice in a Boone County courtroom.
This afternoon, a judge found a former strip club owner guilty of murdering and dismembering a Latonia woman back in 1994. Shannon Kettler's covering Northern Kentucky News Now. She's live with how investigators and the victim's family never gave up in their search for justice.
Well, the prosecutors said it would take a mini-series to explain all the details of this case because it spans over 2 states over the last 16 years. But in the end, it boils down to a team of investigators who couldn't let go without knowing what happened to Peggy Casey.
The court finds the defendant Raymond Clutter guilty of murdering.
The guilty verdict took just seconds to announce, but the case against Raymond Clutter took 16 years to get to this courtroom. The former strip club owner now stands convicted in the brutal murder of Peggy Casey.
This is the stuff that nightmares are made of and the stuff that horror movies are made of. People don't realize that this stuff happens on a regular basis.
What happened to Peggy Casey began on Easter weekend in 1994 at the now closed Bottoms Up Bar in Covington. Investigators say she met 2 men at the bar, Raymond Clutter and Tony White. Instead of taking her to her home in Latonia, they drove her to a trailer off Mount Zion Road. There, detectives say Clutter slit her throat and then scattered her remains throughout 3 counties in northern Ohio.
This particular case probably would not have gotten to the point that we are today had the law enforcement in Ohio not done just the absolute fabulous job that they did back in 1994.
The case had gone cold until 2000 when a tip led a Boone County cold case detective to Tony White, who confessed to the crime and then implicated Clutter. After the verdict was read, Casey's family members thanked the detectives who never gave up.
The verdict today couldn't have been better. We are finally, Peggy Casey gets to rest, her family gets to rest, and it's been a dream come true that this case has been solved.
This was the last case I had pending after my retirement, and they've all had a great turnout, and this just absolutely made my day because hopefully now it gives the families the closure that they need to move on.
It's been a long time, and it's been hard at times, but I'm thankful to the Lord that justice has prevailed today.
Now, Tony White is now awaiting his trial for his role in Peggy Casey's murder. As for Raymond Clutter, he is serving a 20-year sentence for a sodomy case in Gallatin County. He'll return here in August for sentencing in the Casey murder case. The 62-year-old faces up to life in prison.